to me there was a tea party in Boston that was illegal, too.
I have directed Secretary Connally to suspend temporarily the convertibility of the dollar into gold.
We shall seek to establish and maintain a dollar which will not change its purchasing and debt-paying power during the succeeding generation.
As anguished shrieks rose up from the floor of the New York Stock Exchange.
Government credit and government currency are really one and the same thing. A reserve of gold and a small reserve of silver.
So, and I said, well, what if it does happen? And he says, well, price will solve everything. I said, thanks, give me the gold. You know?
Why do central banks hold it? Well, it's a form of reserves. So why don't they hold diamonds? Well, it's tradition, long-term tradition. Well, some people still think it's money.
Good evening. Welcome back to the Junius Maltby Channel, the most boring channel on YouTube, but also the extemporaneous ramblings of a madman, broadcasting live and unscripted here with a deviation from the norm. For tonight, I made hot chocolate. That's why I was late. I found that the perfect temperature, yes, I nuked it, I microwaved it. I had to. You know, you guys were needing me. You were waiting. So I microwaved some milk and some cream and put some dark chocolate in it. But I do something different. I'm going to let you in on a little secret. This is the Junius Maltby. I didn't invent it. I didn't invent this. It's I think some people call it Mexican hot chocolate or Aztec hot chocolate. I made this dark hot chocolate with real milk. But then I added cinnamon, a little bit of cinnamon at the end, and cayenne pepper. A nice dosage of cayenne pepper to make it spicy and hot. I think the Mayans, the Incans, or the Aztecs, someone down there, I remember reading once in the past how they would mix like chilies and hot peppers in with their chocolate. It was good. So, you know, whatever. I like it. We're going to talk about some things tonight. I got some silver discussion, of course. It's the hot topic these days. It's the hot topic. Everyone's into it. Either that or celebrity basketball. Is that a thing, celebrity basketball? They should do that. You know, they do Dancing with the Stars. They should do like celebrity 3-on-3. You know, you could get celebrities and they could play 3-on-3 basketball. You could watch them fall down and get hurt. Maybe they could make it really violent or something like that. But a couple of housekeeping things real quick. Mrs. Maltby worked diligently on some of her designs and incorporating them into merch, because that's a thing. People do merch on YouTube channels, and you guys have asked for it for years. We've done it for years. But she recently, just today, was working diligently on updating designs and different mugs, as well as some pretty cool stickers. I didn't even know they made those. But these, if you can't get a Junius Maltby round, you should be able to find a sticker that looks like one now, because there's stickers that look like the round.
I don't know how long the banker's design will last.
And she doesn't know how long the Make Bankers Jump Again. Is it a shirt? It's a shirt, right?
A shirt and a mug.
The MBJA Make Bankers Jump Again shirt and mug in honor of the TDS boys. Maybe we'll send them. It'd be fun. We could set up a little thing where we send them maybe a penny from each shirt to go towards their trampolines or their therapy after all the silver short positions they've missed in the last 6 to 8 weeks. But, the MBJA shirts, they're up, man. There's a link in every video now, and there should be it's Zazzle, I think, is the page. But once they find out what that message is about, if they read into it, they'll probably freak out and delete it. Like, we got deleted from Teespring.
Teespring, I can't even...
I think only one person in this entire chat, it might even be, is it who I'm thinking it is that actually scored the mug? I'm trying to remember who scored a mug. Only one of you, I think, ever was able to.
Teespring has blocked the email and everything.
Yeah, Teespring. I'm blocked from Teespring. I can't even do anything through them anymore.
The link is on the community wall post.
I mean, they freak out. They're out. I mean, Teespring's out getting shot at ICE protests or something. I would imagine.
It's on the community wall.
It's on the community wall as well. Yeah, the post exactly. And then hey, looks like JJ Stacken and James Richter. You guys are throwing out gifts to people, giving them memberships. Thanks, I appreciate it. And they should too, because now they have access to like 800 videos that nobody else on the planet can see unless you're a member. There's only a couple hundred of you. It's a small group, a small collective of weirdos. And then big super chat from Fed Chair. Thank you, my friend. So I use my belly button as a ketchup cup for dipping my French fries. That's pretty gross. That's pretty gross, but I read it. And it's a very gross thing. Not very hygienic. James Richter says, where's the silver top? Where will it stop? Nobody knows. It isn't going to. Very good point, James. We're going to talk about the silver price and how nobody knows where it's going. But a lot of people pretend to. A lot of people talk about it. They make videos on it. Even stacking channels. They'll predict it. They'll make calls. I don't make a call. I don't really care. An ounce of silver is an ounce of silver, an ounce of gold is an ounce of gold. How many Federal Reserve notes? Well, that's infinitely inflated. The money supply and its value is causing it to infinitely deteriorate, be debased, and devalued over time in history, forever and eternity. It's never going to go up. They're not going to increase suddenly. They're not going to come back one day and be like, hey, guess what? Your purchasing power doubled. The prices of everything, all goods and services, are cut in half. You get to keep your wage at work. Now you're making twice as much. Boom! We just fixed it. How do you feel? You feeling good? You feeling good, citizens? That's never going to happen. It's never happened. No empire does that. It goes only one way. Debasement, devaluation, collapse. And we're on that trajectory. We're in chapter 28 of Dying of Money. If you've been on this channel for over a decade, when did we start? 2012, 2013? You know where this ends. We've talked about it ad nauseum. There's no reason to repeat myself here and preach to the choir because you guys know, you've watched all the old stuff. We've talked about it. We've sat here live reporting these stories, looking at all of the different metrics and pouring through other people's materials, because obviously others research this topic more scholarly than I do. And I just, I'm a conduit in which the medium of their words travels through to you. I'm just a curator. I just take care of the archives and the museum and sweep the floors. I'm like a janitor. I'm like an information janitor. That's what I am. Just sifting through the waste baskets, trying to find good things, pulling the gum out from underneath the desks, seeing if it still has flavor, things like that. Jiffy Pistol, thanks for the super chat, my good friend. He goes, hey, Junius, Darren here. Silver is holding strong because silver is the truth, and the truth is bulletproof. Fight on, Silver Warrior. Silver's, yeah, it is. They're starting, and I actually pulled an article up that will make any stacker proud if I still have it pulled up. Let's get to the tabs, though. And remember, let me get that hot chocolate over here. Hold on. I got to drink it while it's still hot. Otherwise, it's not hot chocolate. And right now, it's warm chocolate. And but thanks again, Jiffy Pistol, my friend. And let's see. Welcome to the channel, my friend. Choice NC. Welcome to Ancat's Pillar Dollars, man. And let's see who's that. Harkabu 73. Welcome to Ancat's Pillar Dollars. And be sure to check out now that you're a member, check out the old videos, the old ones. Go to the old archives. There's some old stuff, classics. Guy was crazy. He was crazy back then. Crazier, probably as crazy as he is now. So back to the price of silver, and all these people trying to predict it, make calls, predictions. Even the banks don't get it right. They never have. They never will. I'm going to show you that in a minute. I got some articles pulled up as well to back it up, to back up what I'm saying here. Fed Chair, thanks for the custodian at the Museum of American Decline. That's my occupation. Fed Chair, you need to write that comment to remind me more often, because that will become a saying here, and it was coined with you. You coined it. You minted it. Custodian at the Museum of American Decline. That's what I am. I'm just a custodian at the Museum of American Decline. Welcome to the Junius Maltby Channel. Is Brock going to the Minneapolis operating zone? He was airdropped in already, Paul. He's in there. It reminds of back when he was in. First off, nobody calls it Minneapolis. It's simply the Moog or Moog. That's it. No one calls it Minneapolis anymore. It's simply just Moog or the Moog. That's it. If you get my reference. So check this out real quick here. This is forecasts, price forecast. You can search it all different ways, but we have things at our disposal now. We have technology. So I've consulted the Oracle. I went into the Google and I typed in these things. But you could search these things, and the cool part is it gives you links to back it up. So there's links on a lot of these articles and statements. So you can find the actual predictions on these are price calls, 2025 to 2026 forecasts by financial institutions made, written in articles. Okay, this is real information. And these were made late 24 to early 2025. Because remember, a lot of these banks, they don't care. It's funny, they have a pretty myopic view of things, and I think much unlike Asia, and we could get into the cultural differences here, and as far as planning, generational planning, dynasties, and all that, just the view that China specifically has towards economics and the future of the planet versus the Western views, which is very small and just singular generational based. I mean, we'll get into these quotes in a minute, but I digress. The extemporaneous ramblings of a madman, of course. You want to talk about extemporaneous, this is what it's going to get to. Think of like Americans as far as what they're planning on a day-to-day basis and a weekly basis, what's going on in their head. Even their financial planning, when they talk about portfolios, the articles you see on CNN or CNBC, what are they appealing to? Estate planning, little investment plans like Roths and 401ks and 457 deferred comps and IRAs and ARAs and all these different vehicles and mutual funds. When you look at it, a lot of them are just planning for a simple little retirement, taking their yacht, blowing their wealth as much as they can. I mean, believe me, I know of people whose elderly family members were burning through $100,000 to $200,000 per year, just trying to get down to the line. Hey, you know what? They worked for it. Whatever. You owed nothing. I get it, but just burning through it on cruise after cruise until they finally croaked of something. And I think it's much like at the individual basis, that is also there's a corporate mindset like that. There's just, and then I think it even stems into the government, Congress, the Senate. I think all of them essentially live that way. What's his name? The warmonger in the Republican Party from South Carolina. What is his name? Again, a guy that just doesn't think of posterity, doesn't care whose kids he shovels into the furnace of war or the meat grinder. What is his name? Come on, he's got the little white toupee, it looks like. Lindsey Graham, that's it. Lindsey Graham, that's it. And choice NC threw it down right away. Perfect. Yes, Lindsey Graham, that's the one. I mean, you can't think lowly enough of the scum that he is, the wretch, the cretin, just absolutely. And that to me that's American politics. He's American politicians incarnate, literally. They're all like that. He's just dumb enough to be honest and forthright, and he makes it more visible. It's so obvious. He's the caricature, the stereotype. Now, obviously, China's much different from that. They don't think year to year. They've probably talked about and seen these silver prices 2 decades ago. That's why if you're on this channel back then, you saw when we were covering it, where silver was flowing. 2 videos ago, I showed you a graphic of the planet. Where's all the silver going? Where's it been going? It was an older graphic even. And where was it all going? China. Now, we've been following that for years, the flow of gold from west to east. Most of the gold flow has been west to east for the last 20 years. All right, the West was unloading it. China was buying it. Canada was selling. The UK was selling. I always want to call it England, but it's the United Kingdom now. Or Moog, the Moog. Or you could just call it North Africa, whatever you want to call it. At Fed Chair, Lindsey Graham is a truck stop glory hole center. He is. He truly is. He's just a whore for IPAC is what he is, man. Absolutely. Called it. Now let's look at these calls here. Bank of America predicted silver to reach $40 an ounce by late 2025 or early 2026. Did it do that? Did it surpass it? It smoked it. It blew past it. It rocketed past it. It didn't even pause there, as a matter of fact. And they looked at a peak. They lifted their 2026 outlook later, okay? And this is, they said, based on strong industrial demand and safe haven status. Later, they lifted their 2026 outlook, so the year we're in now, to a peak of $65 per ounce. This just gives you an idea. This is the Bank of America. They probably have some guys working, they have slide rules and calculators and probably multiple pens in their pockets. They used to carry BlackBerries. And, these are the cokeheads of Wall Street, the wolves of Wall Street. These are the wizards of Wall Street. All right, these are the top minds. You would imagine that Bank of America probably hires like what they would consider the top financial minds in America. They would recruit them. I would think, unless they were complete DEI hires and they just didn't see it. That too could be true. UBS, another titan of the street. They initially projected silver to trade between $36 and $38 an ounce. That was their range, 36, 38. We got it right in that range. And they updated it in late 2025, to a mid-2026 target of $55 an ounce. So later on, late 2025, this gives you an idea where it's at, where the price is at now. Just think of this. In late 2025, UBS, the Wizards of Wall Street, they're like, oh man, we missed our target 36, 38. What do you say, boys? Yeah, it's probably it'll top out next year in 2026 at 55. And then it smoked it in that year. And, do they even have a rebuttal? Do they have a 2026 target? Now that they keep missing. And you have to understand something. These guys are placing bets on these numbers. They're probably taking positions on these numbers. They're putting their money where their mouth is with these numbers. You got to hand it to them in that regard if they're taking shorts on these positions, which they most likely are, and as we saw, TDS did. And the thing is, that's what's interesting is a lot of people that will have these stern, staunch predictions on where metals are going. It's like, put your money where you're at. Man, you can take out a long or put. You can short. You can get on the markets and make money. If you're so cocksure about what it's going to do, put up some capital, leverage it, margin that thing, man. Throw a freaking long pass out there, man, and hit it. Do 100 to 1 odds or something. Do it. If you're so sure. A lot of guys make these calls. Silver's going to go to this. Silver's going down to this or up there. On either side of it, if you're that cocksure, put it up. Put it up, man. Like the Irish used to say, you lose 100% of the bets you never make. You lose 100% of the bets you never make. So go make the bet, man, if you think you're so bad. I'm not going to do that. HSBC raised their 2025 average forecast. They raised their average 2025, and again, this is another titan, to 38.56. Somehow they landed on 56 cents. 38.56 from 35.14. 35.14. And 2026, they had it 44.50. So again, big guys, big trading desks, lots of money, lots of capital. Can hire anybody. They've got the access to the talent pool, you would imagine. You would think, you would wonder. Missed it by hundreds of percents. I didn't realize it. These guys didn't just miss by like a 2% margin or 3% or 5 or 10. These guys missed by hundreds of a percent. Citigroup predicted that silver would reach upwards of 70 for 2026. Citigroup coming in with a close whatever place this is going to be in the failures of these calls, because they called for $70 upwards of it in 2026. And that's a call they made in late 2024, early 2025 that call was made. And they missed it by a lot. By 2 years even. MKS PAMP predicted an annual average of $36.50 in 2025 with a potential to $36 to $38 an ounce. Again, incredible miss, huge miss by a major financial institution that was probably putting money on these bets. This is what their trading desk, this is what their guys came up with. They had a team of monkeys working overtime. Guys making big bucks. Guys who went to Harvard, Yale, Princeton. They got a boat. They eat $50,000 lunches downstairs. These are the cokeheads of Wall Street, man. These are the boys. The ties, the psychos. This is them. American Psycho right there. And they missed it big time. Bigly, as they would say. Wisdom Tree forecasted silver to reach $40 an ounce by Q3 of 2025. They even got the specific quarter in there. Yeah, by Q3, bro, $40 is what it's probably going to go to. You want to get specific? I'll get specific, which is Q3, 2025, $40. Boom, that's the price. That's what I'm going to stick at. That's what it's going to be. You watch. Hey, I read some shit. I know things. I went to school with some guys. I play golf with this guy. His name's Vinny. Pretty good. He knows a guy on the inside. Knows some shit. So, that's what it's going to be. Trust me. I know a guy. Trust me, bro. It's a bunch of trust me bros. That's what it truly is. That's their source. When these banks might as well make these calls and just say, trust me, bro. Trust me, bro. That's my source. So, Wisdom Tree, a big miss. World Bank projected a 7% increase. They came up with a percent. We're going to 7% in 2025, followed by maybe a 3% increase in 2026. A little less for some reason. They don't tell you why. They're just like, trust me, bro, 3%, a little less. About half as much gain in 2026 based on the geopolitical backdrop fundamentals and the markets. It's like the voice of the teachers in the Peanuts cartoons. They don't make any sense. Everything they're saying is nonsensical gibberish. And World Bank, again, 7% to 3%. They missed it by hundreds of percents. Hundreds of percents. They didn't just miss it by like 5%, 10%, 20% like the other guys. Yeah. Everyone here, all of these banks are missing this by hundreds of a percent. That's why this is important. This is for the historical record. Remember, I'm a custodian. What was it? In the Museum of what? Remind me. Throw it down in the chat if you remember. I'm a custodian at some museum, the Museum of American Decline or something like that. So World Bank missed it by, again, hundreds. CPM Group projected a 20% increase in 2025. In a minute, I'm going to show you what, we'll just go there. We'll just go there now. Screw it. I'll come back to this in a second. Come on. It's loading. It's loading. It's slow to load, but it's loading. That's the silver price. Come on. Apparently, silverprice.org is down. So we'll have to come back to it. We'll come back to it. I was going to show you the percentage gains of silver, but I think you guys are familiar with those. Do I need to remind you how huge this is, how big this run has been, and how every sell-off has been literally devoured, gobbled up. There is no selling. I mean, the selling pressure, the buyers are waiting for those. They're just waiting for them to try. They're just saying, man, I wish you would, man. And then they do it. And then when the sales hit, they buy it. There's buyers just waiting. And TX Tractor Life, computer says no. Yes, my computer does say no, quite often, actually. Thanks for the support, my friend. I appreciate it. World Bank missed it. CPM missed it. Robert Kiyosaki predicted silver to hit $500 an ounce by 2025. I mean, I like it. I like the sentiment. And you know what, though? You guys might want to, you might joke around and say he's an idiot for saying that. But I'm going to defend him a little bit here. He might just be a little early on that. He might just be a little early there. Really, I'm not going to fault the guy. I'm not going to say that he, look, of all those people up there, he probably got the closest. Maybe, I doubt it. No. But his heart was in the right place. Maybe he meant 2026. Maybe he meant late 2026 we're going to see 500. I don't know. But he's definitely bullish. You got to like that. You got to give him some props for being so bullish. And then if you look at, again, the forecast 2024, these were made in late 23, 24. Those were all in that 30 range. These banks have been they're habitually just calling it to be in the 30s. I don't think they've wrapped their minds around, where silver could go and where it could head. And look, I'm not putting numbers on it, but we've crunched the numbers here historically, you and I both. And I could take you on another journey down that path, and maybe I will. I was going through my antique Roman coins and coins from the Middle Ages recently, and I was reminded of the purchasing power of such a small unit of silver, as well as the drachma. These dime-sized coins, these coins that essentially carried what you would consider to be a silver dime. An entire day's labor for a skilled labor for many years. And I took the journey even further in some of my coinage that I have, looking at the time span of like 1530 to about 1820, 1850 in England and throughout the British Empire. And you can look at the chat. I haven't even really tried it yet. This was when I used to do my old research before other opportunities. But I think you can actually look these things up now. Purchasing powers over time. What did this unit of currency buy me at this decade or this time span? And anyways, without going too far into detail on all of this, my point is, we've looked at that for years here on the Junius Maltby Channel. We've calculated it. I've gone over this in video format. Again, if you're new here, there's in the archives. You can watch those on various time periods and the purchasing power of silver. And when you look at it, and you look at now, back then they didn't have AI data centers. They didn't have these green energy things going on. They didn't have all the computers and technology that we've become so dependent upon that really communicates and fires and is the furnace, the center, the core, if you will, of most of technologically advanced society and the ever-growing tech that we experience today. And silver has that. It's like this, they're calling it this now critical asset, or this, what do they call it? A critical mineral. Strategically critical mineral for nation states. I mean, this silver's getting attention now that it has never gotten, literally in history. Before it was like shiny, it was cool, it was different from other metals. Yeah, they made some stuff out of it, had some bacteriostatic properties. You could drop a quarter in a gallon of milk and it would keep longer. It was a beautiful and a rare metal. But my point is, it didn't have this entire competition for it to consume it in other ways in other areas. It was a great medium of exchange, served all the purposes of divisibility, recognizability, fungibility, whatever, all those attributes that make up money. There's a whole list. I've gone over it in the 1966 paper by Greenspan on gold and why gold is valuable. That's another video you can check out. A great piece discussing Greenspan's view on gold back then. Now, silver is much like that. But when you look at its purchasing power, what it used to have, how much has been lost in history, the fact that there's only like, 8 billion ounces left, or no, what's the quote? It's 8 billion people on Earth, 4 billion ounces of silver above ground. So like not even enough for everyone to have half an ounce, really. I mean, it's crazy. Left. That's what's left. Above ground, and you know how much has been lost throughout history, and on and on and on. We've looked at charts and graphs, and I've showed you this. And of course, the increasing, growing U.S. debt. We've talked about all the economics there, and the fact that this is a scarce and in-demand asset. This rock, this mineral, it's incredible. The properties that it has, and it's growing. It's increasing. We've been following that even on the life of this channel. This channel's and if you look at the human timeline, you and I have only been having this discussion for like a nanosecond. And we're talking about an element that has had 7,000 years of human history tied to it as far as a recognition of value. 7,000 years, and you and I we've been talking about this for like 10. For much of those years, I mean, I'm not going to get, I don't know the details again. These are old videos I'm trying to resurrect and remember here. But we've bounced the number around that if you look at an average over certain time spans of history, $650 per ounce is a number you will land at. If you crunch enough numbers, if I take the custodian to sweep the dust inside of my own cranial vault and sweep through the files of my memory like I'm the AI, and I consult myself, that is a number we've come to. And you can look at, again, purchasing power in much of human history and what various occupations and goods and services and labor costs were, how would it compare to today's economy and labor and goods and services today? Obviously, there's differences in history. I get it. It's not the same, man. Yeah, I get it, bro. But some of those differences also make it even more valuable. Even more valuable. For much of human history, I'll just leave you with this before we go on to the other articles. For much of human history, I'm going to go with close to or around 3,000 years, the biggest silver coins that truly, really circulated that most common people would ever encounter or come in contact with would be about the size of a silver dime. Now, there's some tetradrachmas and some bigger coins that existed that were circulated probably among the wealthier classes. None of us in this chat would most likely have encountered a tetradrachma at the time, but it was a little bit bigger, a much bigger coin. Silver comparison, maybe a 25-cent piece, like a quarter. That was considered a huge silver coin in the ancient world for thousands of years. You start seeing bigger silver during the colonial era, the discovery of the New World, and of course the thalers of Germany, the Wacham's thalers, the Valley silver, the Dahlers and the dollars, and the Spanish real, and this what became the pillar dollars, Spanish dollars, both milled, and of course the hand-struck ones we see. But Europe started coming out with larger and larger silver coins until we settled on pretty much what we consider to be the size of the silver dollar. That was it. That was kind of like the large silver coin at that point for hundreds of years. For about 500, we've been experiencing the larger silver coin circulating. But a lot of people, again, during those time periods, there were times where certain classes only ever saw dimes or quarter size, even smaller. Like you ever see a 6-pence or a 3-pence silver piece? Tiny little suckers. I mean, if you've ever seen a silver 3-pence, it's a small coin. But that was a store of value, something people were compensated with, something they used to buy goods and services with. But you look at today now, the amount of money in circulation, the amount of human labor out there, the amount of value because silver is a language of value. It's a medium in which people communicate the value of things between and they settle upon. It's an extinguisher of debt, much like gold. It's a liquidity anchor in many societies. And there was a time in which China, it was more valuable than gold. There was arbitrage there, silver and gold arbitrage between the East and the West because they valued silver so much. So pretty incredible, and it really is. And when you look at it, and when you go back and look at that stuff, and that's the thing, a lot of these banks, they miss that. I think that is something they miss. It's a huge miss in the century and the decade that we are in. I think the East sees it. And if anybody who's assessing and appraising the value of silver, I would look to China. What are they doing? What do they see? You know how some people follow Nancy Pelosi's investment portfolio and they make bets on it, and they do pretty good apparently. When it comes to the investment acumen of nation states, I'm going to take a sip of hot chocolate here, so pause for a second. When it comes to the investment acumen of empires, I would go with the guys that have been around the longest. Russia, empire, long time. What are they doing? They're buying gold and silver, stacking it deep. China, probably the oldest of these empires of all. China is ancient. It's an ancient culture, a very cohesive and ancient culture. They've got their issues. They've got their problems. I don't agree with their politics. I'm not some China-phile or some advocate. But I'm going to tell you, when you do look at certain history and trade and what was taking place between the East and the West, the spice trade, the Spanish galleons, the punch-marked 8 reals, and even further back into the dynasties of China, and you look at their economies and silver's role and things there, what are they doing right now? They're buying. They're not even letting the stuff out of their country anymore. They're not even letting it out. You can't export it from them. One of the largest and leading producers on the planet. They're not selling. It's not for sale. Okay. India, another ancient culture, another supposedly up-and-coming nation on the world stage. Buyers of metals, stackers of gold, accumulators of silver. Let's go to Persia, the Middle East. Yeah, we've got Iran over there, the Persian people. Yes, they value metals, accumulating metals. Look into it. Same with the Saudis. I mean, during World War II, the Saudis wouldn't even take anything but metal in exchange for oil. They were like, we don't trust the world. Yeah, you guys are at war. Yeah, you want our oil. We'll sell it to you for silver. So we struck silver pieces in the Philadelphia Mint, and we were sending these silver reals to the Saudis in purchase of their oil. And they've been like that for years. You know, the gold oil peg. These guys like their metals. So what my point is, a lot of these ancient empires and people groups who've been around a while, they are accumulating metals. Meanwhile, U.S. small colony founded right on the 1600s. You know, you had people hitting the coasts there and forming these little British colonies slowly but surely, and pretty soon it flourishes into the North American continent. Right. Fast forward, America's been a country about 200 years-ish from its incipient stage. You've got Canada, the little snow Mexicans to our north. It's former, this British-French mix. They don't really know what they are sometimes, but good people. I love them. Very good people up there. Wonderful place to visit. Always kind people up in Canada. I like them. But the two of them, Canada, the United States over here, and of course their fathers, their ancestors over there in England, who spawned these two bastard children on the New World. Those guys are all selling. They've been selling. Remember Brown's down 1999? What did he do? Gordon Brown. He dumped all of England's gold on the market. Sold it, bought, I think, even U.S. mortgage-backed securities at the time. Canada sold all their metal, right? But that was a story we broke on this channel back when it happened. They sold it all. Dumped their gold. U.S., it's a mystery who owns their gold, if it's ever even there. By the way, P.S., where's the audit? Remember that? Let me take a sip of my hot chocolate while you guys rack your brain. Come on, sweep the dust out of your head and tell me if I missed something. Remember that? The audit? Come on. You guys remember the audit, right? They were going to audit Fort Knox. Trump and his little autistic buddy, his sidekick. What's Trump's sidekick's name? Come on, he does ketamine. What's his name? Elon Musk, right? They were going to audit when they got done with Doji, which really didn't do anything, and all the things got appealed and repealed, and nothing ever happened. It was a big nothing burger. They were going to go audit the Fort Knox. Now, did someone talk to them? Tell them that's not going to happen. I mean, it's like the Epstein list, like that never happened. Is this a what's that weird event? Like I'm in a different timeline. Mrs. Maltby, where is that woman? Throw it down in the chat, guys, because sometimes she reads the chat. Tell Mrs. Maltby to get into the office because Junius has a question. What is that called? That's that when you think something happened but it didn't. It's like the Berenstain Bears is an example. Shiraz, that movie, or Spazaz, or whatever it was called, that's another example of it. And it's named after the assassination of that, the supposed assassination of that South African president. What was his name? Someone throw down the South African president's name in the chat. Mandela effect. That's it. Yes, I had a question about the Mandela effect. I could not remember the name of that effect. The Mandela effect.
Oh.
I think the Trump administration tries to pull Mandela effects on us because do you remember, am I living this right? Was there a timeline in which they said they were going to audit the Fed's gold or Fort Knox? They were going to audit Fort Knox. Am I mistaken? Did that ever happen? Was that in the news?
Yes.
I'm not hallucinating. I didn't wake up and that was a weird dream. Dude, I had this dream, man. I had a dream the president was going to audit Fort Knox.
I know what I read when I was a child, and it was the Berenstain Bears.
The Mandela effect. That's it. Thanks, guys. We worked through that together. We worked through that together. Research it. It's kind of a bizarre rabbit hole of, I don't know what to think of it.
It's the CIA, man.
It's a psyop. I don't know.
It
The
is a
computer just froze.
They messed with us.
I hope they can even hear me right now. I don't even know if they can. Check your chat.
They took the cornucopia out of the Fruit of the Loom.
They've proven that actually exists and they can find it. Okay. Is it still working? Because I don't see it working over here.
It's working for me.
All right. Good. If you guys can hear me, that's good. Real quick, here was an article on HSBC again. I had it pulled up earlier. This is just one of the articles showing you their calls. Now they're expecting silver. This is just not even that old. This is from January 7th. So to show you that they're still not on the ball and that they're still not like in tune with what's happening, HSBC on January 7th, not too long ago, raised their forecasts to $68 an ounce in 2026, this year sometime, up from a previous $44.50 forecast and $57 in 2027. So they were predicting $57 and $44 in a year from now. And they upped their thing to 68 for 2026. So big miss, a little bit of a big miss there.
Hey, what's that?
It's a little silver T-Rex, Mrs.
I want that.
That's pretty cool. You should get that. I don't know where it's at. It's Trusted Precious Metal Source, Money Metals Exchange.
I want that silver T-Rex.
They know what we're talking about here. Well, go look it up. You can go order it.
I'm
it's
an electrician.
$1,300, so you better start working for it.
Now, so.
She is. She wired a little hutch, so Mrs. Maltby actually thinks she's an electrician now. She put some light. I was at work, and she put some lights in a hutch, so she's an electrician. So yeah, HSBC. Point of this article here. The reason I pulled it up, they're missing the mark again, and they should probably just be quiet. I mean, I think they maybe might want to not just shut your mouth, shut your mouth, just stop talking. Okay, all these banks, just stop talking. But just don't even predict it. Don't make a call. You don't need to have an article written by Vahid Karametovic. No one needs to write an article or interview these people or repeat what they say. It's not relevant. I mean, it truly is not relevant. When you look at their track record right now and what's going on and how many guys they have working on this stuff, I mean, why would you even go to them for any of this? Why would you ever look at their opinion on these matters again? So who do you trust? Just proof nobody knows. These guys are supposedly the best in the world. And they just don't know. I mean, they're missing it by the day, by the week. This is a week ago. Silver's $94, $95 today. It's trading like at $100 in China. Every day, live in the markets, silver is trading at these prices currently. Can I get an amen? Can you stand up in the back? Say amen. It's true. These guys, I mean, just be done. Go predict other stuff. Go talk about, I don't know, NVIDIA stock. APMEX another letter. This was I posted some stuff about this. They raised so if you're going to buy from them, big point here, $500 minimum orders. Their buybacks from you at 10,000 minimums because they have so much traffic right now. Tickets, delays, a lot of volume, a lot of traffic, a lot of stuff going on in the silver trading world currently. But there's a whole letter out about how much volume they're seeing and this uptick in demand. And this is prevalent across all of the bullion dealer spectrum, whether you go on any of their sites. Any metals dealer right now, if you look at their site, there's letters from them and delays and shortages. A lot of stuff's out of stock. I mean, and the thing is, if they had it, so here's a question for you, because I get this a lot. I get this quite a bit, this conversation topic. Here we go. I'll go to silver real quick. Let's go to bars. So a lot of people tell me, Junius, they say it's out of stock because they're trying to create more demand, and or they know the price is going up. That's why price is going up, so they're going to wait. I don't know if that's actually happening. I don't know if that's true. Can't prove it, but when you look at silver's history, its price charts, I mean, unless you know the fundamentals, I mean, a lot of these people don't. Again, some of these people, they got to make money. They got to pay the bills, keep the lights on, pay the employees. And some of them might be committed to silver's cause and might be ideologically like we are when it comes to the ideology of sound money and precious metals and where they're going, stuff like that. But I don't know if they all are. I don't think they all are. And there's probably some money at risk and capital tied up in these companies that isn't as bullish as even you and I are. And they look at it just like a business. And when silver's at record highs, like $95 an ounce, being their business trying to make the best. I mean, a lot of these guys, if they acquire this metal less, at the rate silver's going, they're going to sell it. They're trying to make as much money as quickly as possible. I think they would sell it. If they truly had it in stock, they're selling it to you. And especially at these prices right now. That's just the way I think they're doing it. I think that's how they're operating. I think truly when you see stuff out of stock on these pages, I think it's out of stock. I was going to show you, let's see here, the APMEX kilos. I don't even know if these are in, it says you can add to cart. Let's see if they have 500 of them. No, they have 108 of these in stock right now. So there's 108 APMEX kilo bars. 108 of these, it just said, because I just tried to do an order of 500. The other piece here, let's go, okay, silver rounds. These have been getting gobbled up like crazy when you go down here to, I guess, let's see, where's my government mints? Where's the eagles? I don't even know. These, because these are not eagles. These are just rounds here. Let's see. Nope, yeah, these are copies. Are these the copies or the real one? These look like shit. Yeah, it's a copy. That's what I thought. I'm trying to find the real eagles, man. Because I'm pretty sure. There we go. Oh, I can go back. Silver American Eagles all. There we go. I wanted to see how many of these were actually in stock. 1 ounce American Silver Eagle. Random years. Okay, random year bunch. 1,000. So apparently they had 1,000. They would let me add 1,000 to Eagles to the cart. So let's just try this. 100. No, that's 10,000. Will it even let me do 10,000? No, I'll do 9,000. The 999. How about that? There. I want 9,999 Eagles. Apparently they have it. I mean, that's what they're claiming. Item add to your cart. Might take them a while. You might get a phone call in the morning, but that's on APMEX right now. Whether or not that's accurate, I don't know. But that's a hell of a lot of silver if they have 10,000 Eagles right now. But let's go to the U.S. Mint site. If that's because the other day people were notified, and we're going to talk about the drama there. Some people were saying that it wasn't true, and those are for proofs. Those aren't the prices. Pay attention. Well, let's go check it out. Let's go look at the U.S. Mint selling prices right now for Eagles. There's a proof for 173. There's an American Eagle 1 ounce silver uncirculated, just uncirculated, 169. 1 ounce uncirculated is for 169 here. And, well, there you go. The uncirculated guys, just the American Eagle uncirculated. It's just the regular ones. 169. That's what they're going for. They revised their page. Some people, I read a conspiracy theory that supposedly, I'm trying to find their other stuff here, silver coins. The U.S. Mint their website was unable to, so again, wasn't able to keep up with the price changes with silver. And so people were logging on and buying a lot of these coins, not for spot, of course. They were buying them still for like $90 an ounce, $89. You know, there was prices that people thought were pretty reasonable, seeing the volume of sales and seeing the price activity with silver. So they were getting some pretty significant buying pressure at the old U.S. Mint here for these products. And so they went in there and they either ran out and tried to make it unaffordable because they're trying to create, and it says here limited on these down here, but some people are saying this is a buy wall now. They put that up there thinking, you know what, no one's going to pay $70 or over spot for just regular rounds. No one. There's just no way anyone's going to pay 70 over. And they did this to discourage purchasing of silver from them because either they don't have it, they sold out, now they got to strike the stuff that they sold 2 weeks ago before they did this revolutionary price change, this adjustment. That's a theory, and I think that holds some water. I actually think that's possible. I don't know what your guys' thoughts are on it, but I do think that is a possibility, that the U.S. Mint is trying to create a significant price hurdle to discourage people from buying silver because either A, they know where it's going and they know it's a strategic critical mineral now, or B, they don't have it. C, they don't want you to buy it. D, they sold out 2 weeks ago. There's a lot of, they all kind of tie into each other, right? There's not a whole lot of good options for the hike in silver. And even just the general round, I mean, just the basic round. I've looked this up. I posted a picture of it in the wall of the channel. If you go to the channel and you go to the community section, the community post tab, whatever it's called, I did a post about this a couple of days ago. So you can go catch up and you can see the screenshots there of some of the prices and the discussion on the U.S. Mint silver price change. Because, yeah, $169 an ounce is, this is just even the last year's 2024 1 ounce silver uncirculated. Pretty big change. Let's see if silverprice.org's working yet. No. A lot of technical difficulties here tonight. The computer's just not working. I think I got hacked. Here we go. This was on Kitco. Silver may break 125, so somebody's calling it. Oh, Shanghai shortages could cause force majeure. Price shock. Silver stock investors crowd. With silver prices trading above 76 an ounce, again, it's already well above that. This was a while ago, and up 2.5 this year, 2.5x. Investors are beginning to get nervous about a potential reversal, but historical analysis of gold-silver ratio suggests several scenarios in which the gray metal could run significantly higher, and tight supplies, where they matter most, could also produce a price shock in 2026, according to silver stock investors Peter Crowd. And goes on to talk about all the technical details and why he believes that. I just like to get to the price point of his call. Now, there was another piece here. Here it is. This is from TechStock2, some little tech website. And this is January 20th. Today, January 20th. When did this article come out? December. This was in December 14th. So this is really before a lot of the big run of silver. And silver price forecast for December. Can silver hold above $60 after its record run? I don't know. You tell me. Did it? Can it? Yeah, it did. We know. Now we know. Now we know that it did. And this article is actually quite bullish on silver. I skimmed it earlier. Silver has ripped through historic milestones in December 2025, clearing $60 an ounce, then printing all fresh all-time highs near 64 to 65 before cooling off on profit-taking. Now, with the metal trading around $62 an ounce in mid-December, investors and traders are asking the same question. Is this pullback a pause before the next leg higher or the start of a deeper reset? Below is a news-driven December-focused silver price forecast for the rest of December 2025. Built from the most recent reporting, bank commentary, and technical analysis published in the last several days. This is everybody working on this. That pullback follows a dramatic week in which silver briefly hit about 64.64, then dropped to 61 to 62 as traders took profits. What happened? Well, ladies and gentlemen, you know the rest. It blew up. It blew up. It ripped through the 60s. These guys don't really cover it, but they talk about demand in the silver industry, supply chain scarcities, and a very bullish outlook on silver, in my opinion, as far as what you're going to get in a regular mainstream kind of venue. But even they were blown away. They got it wrong. They didn't know where the pullback. I mean, all the analysts didn't know. No one printed in there. Oh, it's going to go to $94 in 2 weeks. $95. They all missed it. Nobody saw it. Nobody knows. Not even the best. Not even the experts. Not even the pros. These are like the Delta Force of the investment world. These guys are like the recon. These are like the best of the best. These are the top elite of the investor squadrons. These are the guys. And they miss it completely. 100% missed it. 250% missed it. So that's why nobody knows. So when people start, going off about what silver is going to do and where it's going, sure, nobody knows. And you're probably not bullish enough. You're probably not. You're just probably, think about it. Admit it. You have to admit it now. Nobody was really bullish enough, because if anyone was, they would have seen this. They would have said this. They would have placed bets here on margin with leverage, 100 to 1 odds. They would have put all their chips on this spot. Silver's going to be $94.50, January 19th of 2026. Here's my wager. All of it, everything. I'm all in. None of them did that bet. Nobody did. They didn't see it. You guys have been all in for a long time. You guys were all in long before these guys did. So, I mean, honestly, who do I trust? I trust the 193 viewers of this chat right now more than I trust anybody writing these articles, anybody doing the research, anybody on these investment teams, anybody on these trading floors, any of these guys on the 35th floor, the 15th floor, wearing a suit, snorting coke at lunch, getting high in the bathroom, paying $50,000 for lunch. I would take any of you, your investment acumen, over the cokeheads of Wall Street, the Wolf of Wall Street, these degenerate traders, the debauched banking class that like to place bets with other people's money, these cokehead gamblers, if you will. I'll take any of you. I'll ride and die with any of you over those guys. That's just the way it is. It's the truth. Most people hand these guys everything. Who do you think manages all the pensions and portfolios? The 401ks, the Roths, the mutual funds, the Vanguards. Who do you think moves that money around and makes decisions about it? These little cokehead guys that write these articles, that get interviewed, the ones that are trading, that are making these bets. The guys at TDS that bet, twice shorted silver in the year of its record runs. Doing a second short from $78 down to $40 and putting money on it. And wiping out, losing their ass, having to pull it with a stop loss and losing 606,000 supposedly is the estimate, over 600 grand. Not a lot, but you know what? Still a loss. You think they're going to take it out of their paycheck? I doubt it. Who eats that? They're investors, the people whose money they're running and funding or managing. Thanks, Fed Chair. He goes, why is the MSM calling silver the devil's metal? It's had that nickname for quite a while, actually. I've never really dug into why it's called the devil's metal, but it has been nicknamed that quite a bit. But, yeah. Again, these guys are managing. A lot of people don't have the time or the energy to manage their funds, their investments. So they hand them over to guys like that. That's who runs it. So that's what you have to realize. The people that are pulling the levers and managing, I'm going to try to get this to come up, your wealth are guys that can't seem to even, with all of the information right in front, give me give me when it comes to information. And they can't get it. But you got it, obviously. Now, silver price is not loading. This is ridiculous. I just tried it again. Let's try goldprice.org. Nope, not loading. That's bizarre. We have a problem. Houston, we have a problem. Is anything loading? Is CNBC loading? Kinda, yeah. Silver's at 92.47, 52-week high, it says here. Trading. Doing pretty good. I mean, do they even have the percent gains for the year up on here yet? It should, 5-day, there it is, returns. You guys can see it. The 5-day return on silver has been 9.26%. The 1-month return on silver has been 37.76%. Wow, what's the 3-month? 85%. Oh, the 1-year return on silver has been 198.55%. 200%, ladies and gentlemen. You want to zoom in on that? Would you guys feel better if I zoom? You can screenshot this and send it to your uncle. You know, the guys that argue with you at the barbecue or on the water cooler, the ones that are like, yeah, my portfolio. You just got to reach out there. You just got to get that low-hanging fruit. You know, you just got to get those passive income streams, dude. It's all, look, bro, trust me, bro. It's about the ROI. Do I even need to break that down? Do you know what ROI is, bro? It's called return on investment, bro. You need to keep up with me, man. I'm a stock bro. Well, just if you want to, guys, if you're in the chat and you're feeling inclined, just screenshot those two numbers and be like, here's my year to date. Here's my 1 year. Your 1 year is 198.55% currently and growing. It's gotten higher than that. As I said, silver was trading about $2 higher than this earlier in the day. Let me get this other one for you guys. There you go. If you want to get the whole thing for them. I'm going to give you one more screenshot because you can do it right now on your phone. You're on your phone, man. I know you are. I can see you on the other side. I'm trying to get this to work. Remember, I don't have an engineer. I have to do all this clicking and dragging. Here you go, Uncle Vern. Hey, man. Vern, man. Yeah, man. You send, here it is, guys. 5-day, there it is. Screenshot that and just send it to him. And say, hey, how's your portfolio doing, bro? This is my portfolio. Is this good? I know you're a stock bro and you know some things. Can you just tell me if this is good? This is what my portfolio's been doing. And by the way, if he asks, in the last 20 years, you're up over 800%. I can't get silverprice.org to freaking work. But there is a chart there in which you can see that. So screenshot it while it's here, ladies and gentlemen. That's it. Going, and gone. Silver price is still not working. But whatever. Anyways, my friends, I think the point of that is nobody knows. Even the best don't know. You've done better than them. So don't listen to anybody else anymore. There's no reason to. Stop paying attention to YouTube channels, even this one. Just you do you. And be confident with what you're doing, what you're holding, where things are going. And G-Dub, thanks for the super chat, my friend. And it says, all in, I've been conspiratorial forever, but no one cares about false flags. Normies sure do care about them dollar bills. Real money is making a comeback. History repeats. And we are the cool kids. Yes, G-Dub, all in. And thanks again for this. She goes, all in. Yeah. We've gotten this, man. You've been on point. And I missed another super chat earlier from JC1701. I'm sorry about the print. JC, thank you so much for I was ranting and I didn't see the chat. Plus it's broken on my end right now. Thank you again for the generosity and you're always supporting the channel. He goes, I'm so happy for dollar cost averaging over the years and all the times we raided and I picked up more from my stack. But as was said at the time, I wish I had bought more. No, JC1701, you've done really good, man. And you were there for the raids.
We were mocked during the raids.
And you were mocked. That's the thing. People thought you were crazy. So imagine that. You were mocked for going all in, for raiding silver like you were. stacking it deep. I mean, really putting it out there. And they were like, they're buying at $30 an ounce. These people are crazy. These are other stacking channels saying you were crazy for buying silver at $25 to $30 an ounce, $32 an ounce, raiding silver like mad, buying it hand over fist. Hand over fist. And that was over $60 ago. 65. You made $65 per ounce. Sometimes $70 an ounce on every single ounce you bought during the raids. And there were stacking channels mocking you about it all over the internet. Various ones. People thought you were crazy. They were ridiculing you. Raid after raid. And we did, again, you saw it. We have the evidence. The first raid ever was here. We did it that day live way back in the very beginning when the silver squeeze was first starting. We decided to do a, quote, raid, and we did it. It was the very first and only one you could find. Was that video. And then we did more. We did one after the other. People liked it. You guys asked for it. Hey, if you want to buy silver, you want to do raids together, let's get together. Let's do it. So we did. And we raided hard. I remember thousands of ounces sometimes in a single evening was consumed by this channel. I remember we added it all up. And it was tens of thousands of ounces if you added up raid after raid that we all pitched in and did together, buying and stacking silver. Incredible, really.
By the way, the original raid poster is on a mug.
Oh, yeah, that's right. The original raid poster is on a mug, as Mrs. Maltby has just relayed to all of you. Sorry, because the chat's frozen. I can't even see it. That's why I couldn't see anyone's comments. Oh. It's not scrolling by. I don't know what to do, and I'm afraid to refresh it because if I do, I'm sure the feed would cut out.
We don't know what would happen if you did that.
I don't even know, so I'm not even going to try it. If they can hear me, then good.
They can.
Good, because I can't tell anymore. I've got no feedback. I'm in the dark here. I'm in the dark. I have no idea what's going on. I'm like our special needs cat, Clarabelle.
She's right behind you.
Be patient. She has no idea what's going on in the world. She has no idea what's going on.
She really is special.
Looks at you with her dumb little face, just completely confused, devoid of any intelligible thought. She's like, I love her to death, but she's like a lot of Americans you see staggering around. She just has this blank look. And she is. She's got it on her vet certificate. She's got a disorder of growth and development. She was diagnosed with that, this foster kitty that misses. I don't think you guys have ever even heard about Clarabelle.
Probably not.
This might be the first time that Clarabelle is ever being shared and they're hearing about Little Belly.
Yeah.
She's actually probably one of the most special cats. I love her to death. She looks like a little moo cat. She's a moo cow. She looks literally like a Holstein cow, but she's very little. And she's got this disorder of growth and development. She's special needs. She's I call her she's like a little retard. She's a cute little retarded cat.
When she was 9 months old, she barely weighed 2 pounds.
She's not coordinated. She has, a lot of times cats can do really coordinated things like our other cat. And, she'll jump and she'll completely miss a counter and just collide with the edge of it and then collapse to the ground and get up and walk away. So she kind of suffers when it comes to
You gotta tell them how she said her first meow.
When she saw shrimp. The first time she ever meowed, she was never, she was...
Ever.
She was nonverbal. That was another thing I used to joke about, is this cat's nonverbal. She's silent. She never made a peep in her life. Till one day Mrs. Maltby had some shrimp out. Not for me, but for her, because I don't like shrimp. Can't have them. I'm allergic. They'll kill me. So if you're ever trying to murder me, Fed boy, feed me some lobster. That's my kryptonite. But what was it, Mrs. Maltby? Not really. I don't get that. I get allergic enough. I get my throat swells, so I'm not going to risk it.
G-Dub says shrimp cures cat autism.
Yeah, she did. She became verbal when shrimp was presented, and to this day, it's the only time she'll ever really speak is if there's shrimp out. So.
She's one of our disabled.
Yeah. So, yeah. That's it.
Some of these donations, it's funny because they do go towards
disabled kitties.
Disabled cats.
The maintenance of disabled kitties.
Our three-legged cat.
And then we have three-legged Tigger. He's a Vietnam vet, actually, little Tig-Tog. He's Tigger. He bounces around like Tigger because he has one leg in the back, so it looks like a tripod, or like his tail is bouncing. He looks like Tigger from Winnie the Pooh, but he's gray and black. And we pretend that he lost his leg in war. He's a little veteran. Hops around in the jungles of the yard. He acts very combat-like. He likes to lurk in the shadows and hide in the camouflage from the VC. And he really likes music from that genre.
We call him Lieutenant Dan sometimes.
Yeah, little Lieutenant Dan.
Yeah.
Yeah, his favorite music is like Fortunate Son, stuff like that. He likes to listen to the old Vietnam playlist on Spotify.
If I'm not mistaken, I think James Richter's wife is a vet tech.
And
they have some... Oh, yeah, here he is in the chat.
Yeah, she'd be familiar with
got,
the swimmer's syndrome or whatever that he had.
One-eye cats, yeah.
Yeah, she'd be familiar with, he had swimmers, it was called. His feet were bent inwards. Mrs. Maltby straightened them with a popsicle sticks, saved one leg because she got to him too late, and the other one had to be amputated because it would have never worked. So he had but Mrs. Maltby got him to where, if it wasn't for her, he would have had to be put down, or he'd have had like a little cart that he'd pull behind him with wheels. I mean, it would just be a horrible,
I literally got popsicle
horrible
sticks
life.
from Hobby Lobby and tape.
Yeah, she taped it, straightened, and like splinted his legs. Like Forrest Gump. That would have been another name for him. Forrest.
I know.
Because he was like Forrest Gump when he had the little sticks tied to his legs and he'd hobble around on them.
Yeah.
Yeah, goodness. So you can tell Mrs. Maltby's a good person, right? I mean, what a heart for animals. She's like a saint. Little Saint Mrs. Maltby.
Saint Gertrude.
Saint Gertrude, yes.
Is
The patron saint of cats.
She's my idol.
Saint Gertrude. Well, ladies and gentlemen, that about sums it up for tonight's broadcast.
Hey, there's a couple more super chats, Junius. I know you don't have
I can't see them on my
access,
end, so you'll have to show them to me.
Here you go.
Do you think there will be a cash for clunkers again, but for silver? Oh, like a government buyback? Thank you, Kevin James. Thank you for the super chat for that. I don't know. That's actually a good question. That's a great question. Cash. What are they going to offer? And you know what? That's the thing. Just say it's not for sale. What silver? I don't have any silver. I don't know what you're talking about. And Fed Chair Arthur Burns, thank you for the super chat. He goes, we raided after the GameStop stuff. We emptied shelves and crashed servers. Fun times. Yes, you remember well. We did crash some raid places. I remember we raided, what was it? Jaeger Silver, and he had no clue what happened. He just came in, like we did it on a Friday night maybe.
Yeah.
He came in on a Monday morning and was just freaked out. He couldn't understand it, and he's a good guy.
I believe
great
you
silver.
had to email him.
I had to email him and like give him a heads up, like, yeah, sorry, man, but that was us. And he was excited, though. I mean, he got to move some silver, and you guys got a lot of good silver out of it. You know, beautiful bars of silver from Jaeger. And think about that for a minute. You guys are buying those 5-ounce Jaeger bars, those little truncated bars, 5 ounces. You were paying maybe $140, $150, some of you guys on those back then. Maybe a little less, maybe a little more, give or take, 150, let's say, 160. 5 ounces times 90. Think of that. Think how much money you made on every one of those little 5-ounce bars you raided and got mocked for. Do the math. Do the math, my friends. Do the math. All right, that's it for tonight. Thank you again for tuning in to the Junius Maltby Channel. Probably the most ideological of the precious metals channels, I'd like to think. We really dive into the ideology of sound money, and I think we might be on that edge. Always on the edge of being canceled, shut down for saying wrong think. But you'll find me here. As long as they'll allow us a platform and free speech in this regard, yeah, we'll push it to the line.
Greg Trainer, 9466, says, I like my tube of Junius coins.
Oh, man.
Very rare thing to have, friend.
There's not very many tubers on the planet.
There's not many tubers.
I don't know of... I think I know of only 2 or 3 full tubers on this planet. When I say full tubers, I just came up with that. As people that had acquired a full tube of Maltby rounds, 20 ounces, 20 Junius Maltby rounds at 16 bucks. I think they were $16 an ounce, $17 an ounce back then. 15, 16, somewhere in there. They were cheap, right? Silver was cheap back then, man. I think there's only 3 people I know of ever that got full tubes.
To answer the Italian Pepe, is there still a possibility of getting one of those Junius rounds? No mint will mint our stuff.
As simple as that, really.
It really is.
I've tried. I've reached out, and I'm not going to exhaust myself
put the
more than
legwork
that.
in
Yeah.
and have been rejected.
Like I email them, and then I think it was Golden State Mint. Never heard back.
Upwards of 20 plus mints.
Most of them, I've reached out like here or there. Not, I don't know how much they want you to grovel. I'm not going to do that. I don't grovel. I just send them an email and said, hey, here's the mint, here's the design, here's what we did before. Would you be interested?
Have the dies and they won't do
like
it.
I've got the dies. Here they are. Here's pictures of them and measurements if you can use them. Just want to put a privy mark on it to separate it from the originals, if you know what I mean. Because I want the people that have those original like 980 or 960 rounds to always have that, to be able to say this is an original. This is the original strike round of the Maltby Channel. So I would have a privy put in. I'll never have the same coin struck again exactly as it is. It'll have to be different in ways that is noticeable and struck into the coin. So the original design would never be threatened as far as authenticity, if you know what I mean. Because I know there are people that place, because of the number of them, a numismatic value on them, I guess, now, because they're scarce.
I do say one thing, too, though. If you go on eBay and you ask eBay to notify you of certain keywords when something is in stock, there are Maltby people who have since been extremely offended by some of our views on things, and they have sold.
Yeah.
Check eBay. We run people out of here all
exactly.
the time.
That's true. That is true. There's people that have been like, I am offended, and they've sold their Maltby round.
Yeah.
They should have just melted it if they were truly offended, but they didn't. They sold it. But I have seen someone notified me on the channel. They found a Maltby round online. It might have been they bought it on eBay, and they got an okay deal on it. I mean, I think they got it for like.
We probably said something, and
they found it.
Yeah.
Anyways, yeah, they're out there, but there are very few people I know of that bought 20 that have a whole tube. That's pretty cool. All right.
Yep.
That'll do it for tonight's broadcast, my friends. Thanks for tuning in. And don't forget, go show Mrs. Maltby some love on her site there, that little post I put up of Zazzle, her designs for the channel. And scroll through it, check out the stuff that she put up there today. It's there. You can see it. There's a post on the channel wall, and then there should be a link below if you want to see it. And I know it's stuff that you guys wanted. It's, you guys are the ones that
we get emails asking for this.
You ask for it, you email, you leave a comment here or there, and hey, can I get this? Can we get this made? Can you do this? I'd buy this if it was in stock. So there's some of those emails and requests have been answered. So go check them out. All right. On that note, thanks for tuning in to the Junius Maltby Channel again, and all of you have a good night.